Okay, so now we're getting into topics that you may not have seen in your previous courses. And what we're going to look at is two-dimensional arrays or multi-dimensional arrays. When I think of multi-dimensional arrays, I always envision this Excel spreadsheet. So I have a set of columns that you see here, and each row. So this one is a 3 by 3. And at each intersection point, so where I have the letter E, this would be row 1, column 1. And that designation is how I actually access this letter here in this spot. So if we go down here and we're trying to find the letters that correspond to these, how do we do that? That's really easy. I think anyone can accomplish this with or without a computer science background. So for row 0, column 2, I simply go up to row 0, column 2, and I get C. And I keep repeating this. So row 2, column 2 is I, and then row 1, column 0. So row 1, column 0 will be the letter D. Okay, so now let's take that knowledge and bring it over to our coding example where we have the same exact thing. So the same exact thing from Excel. This time it's over in our Java file in Eclipse. As you can see, how you define a two-dimensional array in Java is you put the data type followed by these two sets of brackets, and then you name it. So what I did here was I created a two-dimensional character array that is named example. And within these braces, so I have these outer braces here that encompass each row, okay, as you can see here. And each of these rows is actually contained within these outer braces. So if you're not familiar with this, always think of this Excel spreadsheet where we have the first row A, B, and C. This corresponds to this first row, or row 0, since we're dealing with arrays and computers. Everything starts at 0. So that's row 0, D, E, and F. That is actually row 1. And then G, H, and I, of course, is the final row. And then you see each of these A, D, and G, they represent each column. Okay, so visually, this looks almost exactly the same as what we did over here. Now, the initial hard part is figuring out, okay, how do I access, the letter E or the letter C? So we can expect this output to be CIND, which corresponds over here. So let's just make sure that this works. So I'll go ahead and run this. And we've got CIND. And let's talk about this. So we have the name of the multidimensional array called example here. Within the brackets, we have the row. And then within the next set of brackets, we have the column. So we have 0 and 2. And again, it's exactly like the Excel. So that's how we locate a specific thing in one of these multidimensional arrays. Now, what if I wanted to print the entire array? How would I do that? Okay, I've just pasted in my print entire array method. We'll go through the whole thing and just kind of dissect what's happening here. So at the top, I have a Java doc comment. So I have this param. You see this kind of stands out here. I name it example, and then I provide a brief description. So it's the two-dimensional array to print. Private static void, the name of the method, and then the character two-dimensional array with the brackets and the name again. And this name does not have to match this name up here. So this could be the letter A. It doesn't matter. Got these, actual arguments and formal arguments. So in this case, the formal argument is example here. And basically this character array gets passed into here. And then this takes it and runs. It's like kind of like a relay race, I think, of handing off the baton to the next one. And then that goes in here and does some things. So let's talk about what it does. So we've got something that can be kind of confusing. We have a for loop, which on its own is not very confusing. Okay, so now let's talk about something that gives people a little bit of trouble, and this is a for loop that also contains a for loop. So we've got two for loops working together, and this gives people some confusion. So let's go step by step and figure this out. So let's take this first for loop here. We've got int row. So this is going to go through our rows for us. And it's just like any other for loop we've seen. So we have kind of the iterator that controls the loop. Then we compare that number to the length of the row. So in this example, we're going to have 0, 1, 2, which is a length of 3. And for each iteration, we're going to increment row by 1. So then let's hop down to here. It's the same kind of thing, except this time it's going to be the column. So we have columns equal to 0. Then we have the column less than example brackets row dot length, and then we iterate. So we'll come back to this one. That's kind of the weird thing that's sticking out at the moment. And you see within this for loop, we're printing out the row and the column. So for each iteration, we're going to print out 0, 0. The next iteration will be 0, 1. The next will be 0, 2. Okay, so how I like to teach this is on its own, we run this and we see this output and we're like, yeah, we get it. It prints out the two-dimensional array that we were expecting. But how's it actually doing it? Well, what I like to do is come in here and use some print statements and show you exactly what is happening. So, broad overview is this entire for loop. So these sets of braces here contain another for loop. So when this is 0 and 0 is less than the length, it comes and goes to here, right? To this next for loop. Once it gets here, you can think of it as being trapped. It will stay here until this column is no longer less than this here. So this will iterate through multiple times until this column is no longer less than this length here. Afterwards, it hops out of these braces. It adds in a print line, so it skips a space. And then it hits this end brace, which means it goes back up here. So the loop that's doing the most amount of work, how I always think of it, is this inner loop. This thing is always kind of bouncing around, and then it'll be done. It'll go to the outside, hit this brace, and then it'll go back up here. I'll be like, okay, let's go to the next row. And then it goes back down here and it starts bouncing around again, and it's printing everything out. Exits, hits the brace, back again, and then it enters this again, does a bunch of work, bounces around. So what I went ahead and did was put a print statement in here that will print out the current row number that we're on. Keep in mind, this is happening in this outer for loop. So every time this outer for loop iterates, you'll get one of these rows. You'll get a single one. For this one, though, this is printing out multiple things on the same row. So let's go ahead and run this. And you see we get row equals 0. So this is the first time we enter. Then it goes to this for loop. And within this for loop, we print out A, B, and C. After that's done, print line, so it skips to the next line. and then it enters back up here again and it prints row equals 1. So if you're having trouble with this, I would recommend putting some prints in this first for loop to see kind of what's happening, because what you think is happening might not actually be happening. So that would just be a recommendation. So I think we've kind of beat this up enough. And the next part of this video, we're going to look at the homework that deals with two-dimensional arrays.